brief video on It Came From Outer Space from 1953, directed by Jack Arnold, which appears to have set an impressionable standard upon the American sci-fi B-movies that would follow throughout the 50s. Namely a small local setting, an ordinary idealized town, and extraterrestrials which either do or can look exactly like humans, seeking to infiltrate and conquer the Earth society from within. This isn't necessarily the scenario of this film's screenplay, although its aesthetic informs the more malignant invaders of some later imitators. This title, based on a story treatment by the rather legendary Ray Bradbury of Rachel Bloom's saucy fantasies, in It Came From Outer Space, that those which came from outer space are in fact benign. They kidnap certain humans in desperation so that they might make a copy of them to disguise themselves. Unnoticed by Earth's inhabitants, they can gather the materials necessary to repair their spacecraft. They do not harm any of these people. I suppose they can't exactly have two of them running around either. This angle was Bradbury's. To quote the author, I wanted to treat the invaders as beings who were not dangerous, and that was very unusual. The studio picked the right concept, and I stayed on. One Harry Essex transformed the treatment into a viable screenplay. It Came From Outer Space is a film with something of a better reputation than one might realise. The film is fairly well directed for what it is. Jack Arnold was no hack, and it seems that this was the film which really cemented him as a genre filmmaker more so. He directed a celebrated documentary about the conditions of labour workers from 1950. The plot is considered, and they seem to try their best with what they have. I think its attempts at vague expressionism visually are primitive and substandard, although it still grants the film a distinct visual character, which is rather striking. It is more that one goes into this film with low expectations, knowing it is a lower-budgeted 1950s American sci-fi film, and yet is surprised by its care and sophistication as a sci-fi story and as a film production. It is going for a small town is beset by an extraterrestrial menace atmosphere, then we realise they mean no harm, and then humanity must examine its own potential for needless hostility toward those we feel are apparently different from ourselves. Decent direction, rather pronounced, and I am happy that it allowed for Arnold's later work, some soon to be discussed. Thanks all, have a fantastic day, night, wherever you are.